Hi Collective, welcome to this reading. This is going to be an Akashic Tarot reading for whoever is guided in. So really, I was just pulling my own energy, right? And I wanted some answers, and I feel that I wanted to show how powerful this deck is, right? And if you came into an alignment with this, maybe it's letting you know that you need to get an Akashic Tarot reading done for yourself, or this is your story. But if you want a personal reading, I do have a link available in the description box, and you can request that I do an Akashic reading for you. I wanted to show you I pulled just 3 cards just to start, right? Right away it grabbed my attention because number 19 came out, which is my birthday. So, now it might not be that situation for everybody, but clearly this card is going to relate to me somehow. And I'm going to explain a little bit of my story along with to show you just how powerful these are. I just started to read the beginning of this card and it blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, because I've been sitting here literally just figuring out what to do, right? Like, I know that I got in, to YouTube being fun, creating content, right? But I know it's meant for me to be a spiritual teacher. I've even homeschooled my children back and forth, trying to teach them spirituality, metaphysics, and all of that. And there's only so much I can do, right? And it's like I've been integrating a lot with my spirituality along with my family, trying to build a business. I have 4 children, and I'm always like, Source, why is this not working for me, okay? Why am I struggling so much with trying to build? I'm constantly getting discouraged when I have to put down my studies, my work, my whatever I'm doing, right? All right, so now let's get into this card, okay? So I'm going to read the card first because you can get so much out of the interpretation of the card, but then you're going to get shocked when I read the meaning behind the card, okay? So surrounded by a spinning wheel and a basket of wool, a beautiful woman, worried and tired, gazes at the embers in the fireplace. She has worked hard at spinning for the coins that are gathered on the table. The expansive window behind her looks out into a Buddhist monastery high in the mountains. When you receive this card, there is a conflict in your life between what the outer world requires of you and how your own spirit directs you. You actually may have had a number of past lives where you wanted to focus on your spiritual growth, and therefore joined a monastery to do so. Then, missing the wonders that the secular world could offer, such as love, family, and financial success, you chose the secular world exclusively in your next incarnation. Yet, this didn't offer the spiritual focus you also sought. Because of this, it's likely that you've bounced back and forth from the monastic to the personal in the number of incarnations and through a number of different faiths. You are now again experiencing a polarity between a fully self-realized spiritual experience and a personal success in your day-to-day life. It often feels as if you have let one go in order to embrace the other. This push and pull will continue until you learn to bring your spiritual self to every situation in your personal life. It's time to replace worry with trust and integrate your internal truth with your temporal reality. If you have a job or are in a relationship that actively pulls you from your spirit, you must deal with it or possibly leave it. Who you are forever is who you are now. Let nothing impede that power. When you own it, absolute self-realization is in both worlds will elude you no longer. Do you see how powerful that is? This is so on point, right? And it lets me know that that's why I need to have peace and quiet. I'm constantly pulling myself this is definitely talking to me, right? So you see what I mean? As you pull a, personal Akashic Tarot, right? You're going to get answers for you specifically. But collectively, the way that this universe and the secrets and the magic, it's going to align others that are going down their spiritual pursuits, right? Also because I know that I am a chosen one meant to inspire you to go after your chosen path, your passions, your whatever that may be. And for a lot of you, it's down spiritual pathways. So I feel that this is going to align with a lot of you. All right, so I'm curious, I only first started to read this card. So, wow, okay. So now let's look at 19, right? And you may find correlations with certain numbers, could line up with, certain pathway or like life force numbers or however, like there's so many things like within the numbers too. And also 269 has also been very, very significant for me, numbers in my life, and I see that right here, 269. So pay attention if you do get a personal reading or even in this one if the numbers mean something to you. Okay, so number 19 is reflection. Okay, so on a full moon shines brightly over a quiet lake as a small ship glides gently through the water. The glow of the ship lanterns is reflecting on the lake's surface and along with the moonlight from above. So that's the description of the card for you, so it can mean something. This card can sometimes show a trip, particularly a trip over or by water. More important, it can reveal that you now have a direct line to your psychic gifts. You are also more aware of your emotions and more reflective about them. You recognize the difference between your intuitive voice, which is calm and assured, and your lower emotional compulsions, which are urgent and sometimes fear-based. Let yourself gain even greater clarity and control over your emotions now. This also would be a great time for you to take classes in meditation, psychic development, counseling, healing, and other psychological and spiritual arts, if you are in such an interest. Your yin side is wide open, and your receptivity is high. Trust your inner voice, and you will be guided to greatness. Okay, so see, to me, this is more telling me, yes, go off of what you feel. Expand those spiritual gifts, right? Spend more time in meditation, right? Be more demanding of, time for yourself. This, whatever you're feeling guided to, I'm going to go off of what I am, right? It's reassuring me that it's never going to stop. When you're pursuing your passions, your dreams, and desires, you bring more life force energy to you. So it's going to allow you to open it up. And I knew that this lifestyle was going to be a challenge. There's many times, right, where I have to stay calm, right? I've got to stop when and it's about finding that balance, right? Like I've told my children, just like my oldest she gets aggravated with me, as I always say, like whenever I'm doing my spiritual work, like whenever my little one needs me, that's 5, I stop right away. She needs to, I'm there for her. I'll pause my videos, I'll do whatever. But my oldest, I'm like, you have to wait when I'm doing readings and things like that till I'm done, till I come out. Like, because you're older, you understand what I'm doing, you have the patience. It's also prioritizing it. She gets so upset. She's like, but you'll pause your videos and you'll stop for, and it's things like that. But it's also respect and boundaries. And for a little while, I was like, you're right. Maybe it's unfair that I, don't always stop whenever she needs me. But then I realized I was doing that to all of my children. I was getting so pulled so many different ways. And I was like, no, I need to establish more order. And this is part of showing that, because there's always going to be things in the world that are going to pull you away, right? And it's really to push you to, whenever you're going towards your passions, your dreams, your desires, there's always going to be that resistance, right? Because things, there's always that work, like, because the more work and effort that you put in towards things, the bigger the reward, right? If everything was just so easy to attain, then you wouldn't have that triumph, that reward, that feeling, that, you know what I mean? So, you gotta work with it, right? Okay, so this is definitely very beautiful, right? So trust your inner voice and you will be guided to greatness. Okay. And there's an Akashic force behind each card too. I'm going to read it for this one because it's short, right? So it says, close your eyes as I show you the card. But I want to remind you, and I just realized there's 2 water too. Water forces, reflection, the waterfall. Right? But this was the card that it's going to have me read real quick. Okay. Close your eyes and feel yourself filled with emotional peace and calm as a still lake. You are now in a state of intuitive reflection. Open yourself to a word or image from spirit and trust the first thing you get. Let yourself receive, right? And it's about flowing. And I remember when people used to say, meditate, meditate, meditate. And I was always like, I cannot just sit still and not think about anything. There's too much going on in the world. I've got too much to do. And it was always like, all right, I'll meditate, but it's going to be while I'm doing dishes and things like that, or cooking. Because whenever I cook, back when I had a kitchen, I miss having a kitchen. I would always tell my children, like, up, out of the kitchen, I need it quiet so I can, read my recipes, whatever, or not get distracted. But it was also for me to calm down, not constantly be, because, I would mess up when I constantly be talking, answering questions, trying to read, measurements, and there'd be times I'd mess up, I get aggravated, right? So yeah, I would tell them, like, I need a calm in the kitchen, right? And then I started to realize that, wow, okay, so when I got everything mixed, measured, baking, cooking, whatever, and I have minutes where I can just sit there while I'm waiting for, my next steps, right? There's nothing going on around me. There's nobody talking to me. It's quiet. No one's going to come in and interrupt me. All right, I can relax. I can breathe. I can take a few minutes for me. And then, yeah, I would start to think about things. But see, so you can meditate while you're doing things, but it's also, you need to just spend some time in quiet where you're sitting and you're doing nothing. And really what it is for meditation to really occur, it's where you need to stop thinking about things and let new thoughts start to come into your mind. That's where spirit is connecting with you, your ancestors, ascended masters, if you're working with them, can talk with you and give you new ideas and thoughts and guide you to new things. Because we get so focused and so caught up in this fast-paced world, and especially if we're always on devices or in boxes and tablets and TVs and, all just... And having large families. Like I said, I have 4 children, so it's hard to find quiet time, right? And there's just always so much going on that they don't have time to come through and deliver messages. So it's really important to spend some time where you're clearing your mind and you're not thinking about recycled thoughts. You're not thinking about problem solving, right? Because it's just like, that's when I really noticed that I was starting to really meditate. Because when I was cooking, I was like, all right, well, I can't be thinking about like doctor's appointments I need to schedule at this time because I can't pick up the phone, write things down. I'm not going to think about school and the different things. I'm not going to be thinking about my business I'm focusing just on calming down in the moment, cooking, and what news coming in. And then it was like spirit knew that it could talk to me and come through more when I was cooking. And then it started to happen when I was showering. Like I used to realize that whenever I'd get in the shower, I'd always be playing out the day and processing everything that happened. And the final time I'm like, you know what? My showers are not relaxing enough. When I'm showering, I don't want to think about other people and my family. I'm going to take this time for me, right? This is time where I'm going to detox. I'm going to let everything go. So then I started to take showers as, like this is going to be relaxing. I'm going to think about just me and what I want to do, right? And then that opened up a whole new way for me to meditate and think about just me, right? Because a lot of times we put our energy and our focus on other people. We forget to think about what we want and need, right? Wow, lots coming out in this, okay? That's why I say you should watch, whatever energy you feel guided to you, even if you feel like, wow, well, this isn't, I'm not going down a spiritual path, whatever, because you never know what is going to come through, right? So there's that. All right. So beautiful. All right. 6 of Forces. So this is like a major. These cards, some of them are majors, right? And then they're broken down into scrolls, into forces, and keys. Keys, forces, and roses, right? So they're broken. So this is like a major, right? The 19, right? Okay. And then, so now let's look at the forces. All right. So the waterfall. Okay. So a towering waterfall roars down into a beautiful body of water. In the upright position, this card reminds you of your incredible personal power and supports you in opening up to the force within. Know that you are a dynamo in the universe. You have the ability to shape any situation in a way that honors you and moves your life forward. The element of water is fluid. Like the waterfall, your personal energy never stops. Your life force is never ending. It springs from the eternal past and roars into the limitless future, extending into the furthest reaches of the universe. It is time to deep thought and even deeper emotions, as well as an expansion of psychic energy. Use this time to act on these and tap into the power that is ever flowing. Wow, I really feel that somebody's going to find the connection with Source. Like somebody's going to realize that they're getting like direct downloads. They're connecting their online with Source. Like this is going to be really exciting when somebody does. And it's like when you finally realize that like you're truly meditating and you're getting thoughts and downloads from spirit, and it's so much fun. I call it like an awakening. When like your third eye opens, you get like a flood of downloads, right? And you get so exciting because it's so exciting to get like, just downloads and guidance, right? Instead of when you finally realize it's like you can open up and get outside of your own thoughts, to me that's like breaking the matrix, right? That is what is so exciting, right? And not just turning on the TV and getting fake news where they're keeping you in that matrix. Because it's like for spirit to fully come through, you're in your higher vibrational chakras too, and you're not running out of your lower ones. That's where they control you with fear-based. And you can't assess your higher chakras when you have fear. And sometimes it just takes calming down to release fear. And that's why it works when you meditate, because you have to let go of your thoughts. So really you're letting go of fear and you're getting up into your higher chakras and into your mind. You're connecting with Source. Then you're getting these beautiful ideas, right? And they give you inspiration and they guide you to ways to find the secrets and to find your ways and to find ways to make things work and to get these new thoughts and to run with them, right? Like I can't even tell you, finally, I've been realizing that, yeah, I meditate in the morning. A lot of us do, right? I sit quietly at my desk. I'm drinking my coffee and I'm just thinking about, first I'm interpreting my dreams. I'm remembering what messages, things that were coming through, and then I pay attention to where I'm guided right away in the morning, to different downloads I receive, because I get on social media just quickly and get different things, right? And it starts where I start putting together, because I use all of my psychic skills and abilities and put them together for my nightly readings or daily readings whenever I put them together. So if you like my content, right, and you just want to catch my free content, then definitely subscribe to the channel, right? And then that way you'll get my daily uploads. And I'm going to do better at uploading over here because this is going up on Shadow's work, but I do have another platform that's linked below in the description box. You can come over there too, right? Because I'm going to kind of go back and forth between the platforms. 1717 on the clock as I say that. Whenever I call out numbers too, they're universal code numbers, as that's our light language, and certain numbers and frequencies, 1727 is another one that you're guided to, you can look into those for more messages, right? You often will start seeing 1111 first when Source starts to realize that you're picking up on the light language through the numbers, and you start to investigate those numbers, and you can literally Google like number 1717, or you can put in angel number. That's how I first started out, as angel numbers. I've noticed a lot of people pay attention to the numbers and like the Bible scriptures, right? And just like, isn't it just like when you want an answer, and that's why so many people were drawn in awe to the Bible, right? Is knowing that it's like a guide, right? And that's connecting you with spirit. It's the same way. It's just they didn't want us to know that we could tap in and get this message. And it's like when we're tapping into tarot, and especially the Akashic record, that goes off to your Akashic, your past lives. Not everybody has access to them, by the way. Like anybody can just be a card reader. I'm more of that. That's why I use my psychic skills and abilities, and I get the whole story behind each of the cards, so that's how I can tap in and tell you more. But if you're feeling guided just to get any deck yourself, you can definitely do that too, because for a lot of you, it's going to open up your psychic skills and abilities, and that's what happened to me. Like when I first got my cards, and then I was learning them, I was just a tarot card reader, right? But then when I finally realized that, wow, the stories and the downloads, and when I ask for the guidance and I protect myself with spirit, and then it's like, then sometimes like I don't like it now if I just go in, if there's too much going on and I can't connect with spirit, then I'm just reading cards. I'm not getting the guidance from spirit, and I don't get the stories and all of that, right? That's what makes it so different, right? Is there are a lot of tarot card readers, but not everybody is an intuitive psychic that uses tarot as a tool, right? And a way to connect with spirit, right? So, but more and more are starting to realize that they're tapping into these skills and abilities. Like for a while, I didn't even realize that I was doing it. So I'm feeling for a lot of you, like you could be realizing like, wow, yes, I'm channeling spirit, like, and then for some of you could be finding out that you are a medium, and when you're doing your readings that really you are channeling. It wasn't until I was playing back some of my videos, I'm like, oh my God, who was just giving that reading? Like, I'm not even playing. I'm like, what? I'm even talking, like, what is that? Right? Like, this is the stuff that you could be realizing, right? You could be finding out at this time. Because for a lot of you, you are going to be realizing that tarot was literally a tool to awaken you to a higher levels, psychic skills and abilities. And for some of you, you're realizing that in past lives, you very much were, you know, a psychic, a witch, whatever. You had strong spiritual. You were tapped into the occult, right? And that's why it's so easy, and you were guided to it in this lifetime. But in this lifetime, it's meant for you to expand on it, right? Just like in mine, like I've mastered this, right? I know that I was a master. I know there's so many different interests and things that I have been guided to doing, right? And that it's opening me more up to it, right? And it's like, yes, there is so much that I want to do, right? I want to be a Reiki master. And so I know that I need to start allotting time for more of my studies and things like that, and to, you know, and it's just, I got to incorporate it with this lifetime. I've got to find that balance. I have to find a way to make it work, things like that, right? Maybe it always was for me to raise my family and my children first and get into everything, right? But it's like I'm starting to realize that, yeah, my oldest is turning 18. I've got 2 other teens, and yes, my youngest is only 5, right? But anyways, so it's a lot easier for me now, because it's like it was discouraging me for a while, because it's like I've been on my spiritual ascension and awakening, I felt, for like 7 years, and I'm like, it doesn't take this long with everybody. Why is it taking so long with me? So I've been discouraging myself, like, yes, I've been trying to really build a business for 3 years, and it's like I've been running into so much things, right? So anyways, like, this just so opened up so much for me. So I feel like it definitely, you know, and if you don't want to get a reading done personally from me, there are many other readers out there that do the Akashic Tarot readings. I would really suggest that you get one, right? And but that's what I'm saying, like, where was I going, like, with the Bible, right? Is that how some will be guided to the Bible, like, whenever they need answers, and for a lot of them, they've started to realize the correlation. Like, sometimes some of these people get a certain like number that keeps repeating themselves, and then they'll know, oh, that number is in the Bible. Yep, that's the exact scripture that I needed, and things like that. So it shows you that 22:22 on the clock, as I say that when you start to awaken and knowing that numbers are light language, and you start to look them up, you get more and more messages. And that was a big thing too to my awakening. One of the first things that happened when I was going through my awakening was I noticed that the 1111, and then I looked that up, and then I started to notice different synchronicities. Whenever I would notice repeating numbers, like 2244 I just seen, those are times when I would start to look up those numbers and get messages. And all the ones that I'm calling out in this reading are also meant for you to look it up. But maybe you're guided to certain things, right? And yeah, so it's so exciting. I feel, and we're under mass awakenings and ascensions on this planet at this time too. So many people are going to be finding out that this is the same way when you find those that are tapped into spirit. And, you know, and I work with the Ascended Masters very closely, right, as they've been my teachers, right? So anyways, I'm going to leave this here. Love and light to all of you. Definitely subscribe to my channels if you have not. Feel free to comment, like the videos, do an energetic exchange with me, and watch whatever you feel guided to. 2330, another number, and 2333 is seeing a lot of 2s and 3s are the final numbers for this reading. All right, love and light to all of you. Bye.